From an Olympic dream to a €15 million rescue mission, Spain's third largest stadium has been called a white elephant and a monument to wasted public funds for over 2 decades. But now, this sleeping giant is finally waking up. Welcome to Estadio La Cartuja, the stadium that was built for Olympic Games that never came, left without a permanent home team, and nearly declared a technical ruin just a few years ago. But in an unexpected twist, this controversial venue is now being transformed into one of Spain's crown jewels ahead of the 2030 World Cup. Is this a brilliant resurrection or just throwing good money after bad? Today, we're taking you inside the dramatic renovation of Sevilla's Estadio La Cartuja, a project that's tearing out the old athletics track, bringing fans 5 meters closer to the pitch, and expanding capacity to 75,000 seats, all in just 8 months. Let's dive into the incredible comeback of one of Spain's most controversial stadiums. To understand why this renovation matters, we need to go back to the 1990s. Estadio La Cartuja was born from Olympic ambition and regional pride. Construction began in the late 1990s with one clear goal: to help Sevilla win its bid to host the Olympic Games. The stadium was completed in 1999, just in time to host that year's World Athletics Championships. With a capacity of 57,619 spectators, it was one of Spain's largest stadiums. The problem? Sevilla's Olympic dreams never materialized. The city applied to host both the 2004 and 2008 Olympic Games, but was unsuccessful each time. Without the Olympics, La Cartuja quickly became what locals called El Elefante Blanco, the white elephant. Unlike most major stadiums, it had no permanent home team. Both of Sevilla's main football clubs, Real Betis and Sevilla FC, preferred to stay in their own established grounds. For years, La Cartuja sat largely unused except for occasional concerts, Copa del Rey finals, and the rare international sporting event. The athletics track, once seen as an Olympic necessity, became its biggest liability for football matches, keeping fans far from the action and creating a disconnected atmosphere. The situation grew worse over time. By 2018, structural problems had become so severe that local authorities declared the stadium's roof needed costly renovations. La Cartuja was temporarily closed, and there were serious discussions about demolishing it completely. As Patricia del Pozo, Andalusia's Minister for Culture and Sport, later revealed, the stadium was going to be declared in technical ruin. But fate had other plans for La Cartuja. In February 2020, just before the pandemic, a lifeline appeared when the Spanish Football Federation struck a deal to host 4 editions of the Copa del Rey final at the venue. Then, when COVID-19 forced UEFA to relocate Euro 2020 matches from Bilbao due to fan attendance restrictions, La Cartuja stepped in as Spain's replacement venue. These opportunities gave the stadium new life, but the real game changer came in October 2023, when FIFA announced that Spain, along with Portugal and Morocco, would host the 2030 World Cup. Suddenly, La Cartuja wasn't just a problem to solve, it was a potential World Cup venue. Andalusian officials quickly recognized the opportunity. Instead of continuing to maintain a stadium that wasn't meeting modern football needs, they could transform it into something truly special. By November 2023, plans emerged to redevelop La Cartuja completely, removing the athletics track, bringing fans closer to the action, and increasing capacity to make it Spain's third largest stadium. The timing couldn't have been better. Both Sevilla FC and Real Betis were planning major renovations to their own stadiums, meaning they would need a temporary home for several seasons. La Cartuja could serve these immediate needs while transforming itself for the World Cup and beyond. In March 2024, Andalusian President Juanma Moreno unveiled ambitious renovation plans to transform La Cartuja. Designed by the renowned Cruz y Ortiz Arquitectos, the project reimagines the stadium experience while preserving its iconic exterior. At the heart of the redesign is the elimination of the athletics track, the feature that had kept fans distant from the action for over 2 decades. But the architects didn't stop there. The renovation includes lowering the pitch level by approximately 5 meters, creating space for entirely new lower-tier stands that bring spectators dramatically closer to the field. The new design increases total capacity from 57,619 to more than 70,000 seats for football matches, with the ability to accommodate up to 75,000 for concerts and other events. This expansion makes La Cartuja the third largest stadium in Spain, behind only Barcelona's Camp Nou and Madrid's Santiago Bernabeu. What makes this design particularly innovative is how it maintains flexibility despite removing the athletics track. The architects have incorporated a system that would allow for a temporary running track to be installed if needed for specific events, similar to what was done at Glasgow's Hampden Park during the 2014 Commonwealth Games. The renovation also includes comprehensive upgrades to stadium facilities. All toilets, concession areas, and access points to the new stands are being modernized. The VIP and hospitality areas are being expanded and upgraded to meet UEFA's 5-star classification standards, essential for hosting major international tournaments. The changes aren't limited to the interior. While preserving the stadium's distinctive exterior shell, the redesign includes some exterior adjustments to improve the stadium's appearance and functionality. New entrances are being created to handle the increased capacity, and the surrounding areas are being redeveloped to improve access. Perhaps most impressively, all of this is being done without a full rebuild. By working within the existing structure, architects are delivering a world-class transformation for just 15 million euros, a fraction of what new stadiums typically cost. When presenting the designs, Moreno emphasized that La Cartuja would become a reference among the great sports venues in Spain, not just a World Cup venue, but potentially Spain's national stadium. Construction on La Cartuja's transformation began in July 2024 with a remarkably tight deadline. The stadium needs to be fully operational by late March 2025, in time for the Copa del Rey final scheduled for April 26, 2025. This gives contractors just 8 months to complete a massive overhaul. The project was awarded to Heliopol, a Seville-based construction company that's part of the Russell Business Group. The construction is both highly visible and dramatic. Cranes, heavy machinery, and hundreds of workers are on site daily. Phase 1 involved tearing out the old athletics track and excavating the pitch 5 meters lower to make way for the new lower-tier stands. While the construction timeline is ambitious, the project benefits from the stadium's existing structure remaining largely intact. The renovation focuses on the interior bowl and facilities rather than rebuilding from scratch, allowing much of the work to proceed simultaneously across different sections of the stadium. But the project hasn't been without controversy. Some critics question the wisdom of investing 15 million euros in a stadium that has struggled to find consistent use for over 2 decades. Others point out that despite the renovations, La Cartuja will still lack what many successful stadiums have: a permanent home team. The renovation has also created tension with both of Sevilla's major football clubs. Real Betis had initially planned to begin modernizing their own stadium, Benito Villamarin, in summer 2024, with plans to temporarily relocate to La Cartuja. When La Cartuja's renovation was announced, Betis had to postpone their own project until 2025, creating cascade effects for their planning and finances. Similarly, Sevilla FC, which plans to build an entirely new stadium on the site of their current Estadio Ramon Sánchez Pizjuán, has had to adjust their timeline to accommodate La Cartuja's availability as a temporary home. They're now scheduled to use the renovated stadium from 2026 to 2028. Some purists also argue that a 75,000-seat capacity may be excessive for a city already home to 2 top-tier clubs. And politically, the suggestion that La Cartuja could become Spain's new national stadium has raised eyebrows in Madrid and Barcelona. Despite these controversies, construction has progressed rapidly. Recent photos show the dramatic transformation already underway, with the athletics track completely removed and the lower pitch level clearly visible. Workers are racing against the clock, with shifts often continuing around the clock to meet the tight deadline. If all goes according to plan, by April 2025, what was once criticized as Sevilla's greatest white elephant will emerge as one of Spain's premier sporting venues, ready just in time for Real Betis to move in as its first temporary resident. The €15 million question. Who's paying for all this? La Cartuja's renovation represents a strategic investment primarily funded by the government of Andalusia. This regional investment reflects the administration's belief that transforming the stadium will deliver economic and cultural returns far exceeding its cost. What makes this funding approach remarkable is its efficiency. Stadium projects of this scale typically cost hundreds of millions, not mere tens of millions. By working within the existing structure rather than building anew, the renovation delivers tremendous value, turning a struggling venue into a world-class stadium at a fraction of typical costs. The funding strategy also reflects a broader vision for La Cartuja's future. While the immediate catalyst may be the 2030 World Cup, regional officials see the renovated stadium serving multiple long-term purposes. Hosting Spain's national team, providing a temporary home for both Sevilla clubs during their respective stadium projects, continuing to host Copa del Rey finals, and attracting major concerts and events. For context, Real Betis is planning to spend significantly more, approximately €100 million, on renovating their Benito Villamarin stadium, while Sevilla FC's new stadium project will likely cost several €100 million. By comparison, La Cartuja's €15 million transformation represents an extraordinary return on investment. The economic logic extends beyond the stadium itself. A renovated La Cartuja strengthens Sevilla's position as a host city for the 2030 World Cup, which could bring an estimated economic impact of hundreds of millions to the region. Tourism, hospitality, and international exposure all stand to benefit significantly. So what does the future hold for the transformed Estadio de la Cartuja? By April 2025, football fans will experience a vastly different venue, one where they'll sit dramatically closer to the action in Spain's third-largest stadium. Real Betis will call it home for 2 seasons, followed by Sevilla FC for another 2 years. The 2030 World Cup will showcase it to a global audience of billions. But perhaps most importantly, this once-derided white elephant will finally have found its purpose. From Olympic disappointment to national showcase, La Cartuja's story is one of redemption through vision, timing, and smart renovation. If you've enjoyed this inside look at one of Spain's most dramatic stadium transformations, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories about football venues. Thanks for watching.